Have you ever wondered why many American cars look so much bigger than the ones cruising European streets? Behind that size gap lies an interplay of infrastructure, regulations, and culture. Welcome to second episode of Inline. It may appear that Americans just prefer large vehicles, but the full picture reveals something deeper. Economic incentives, regulatory design, and city planning all favor growth in car size. As we unpack these factors, you'll realize that vehicle size isn't merely a personal choice, it's shaped by systems. One of the strongest forces behind large American vehicles is infrastructure. Wide highways, sprawling suburbs, and vast parking areas make it natural and comfortable to drive SUVs and pickups. When you build roads in cities around big vehicles, people will naturally gravitate toward them. On the regulatory and economic side, fuel plays a major role. Gasoline in the US is taxed relatively lightly, which lowers the cost of running large, fuel-hungry vehicles. Moreover, US fuel economy regulations, such as CAFE, include classifications or loopholes that make it more feasible for automakers to sell large, heavy vehicles profitably. In Europe, the pressure runs in the opposite direction. Carbon dioxide emission targets are tight, and heavier or bulkier cars attract greater penalties. This drives manufacturers to build lighter, more efficient vehicles. And culturally, many European drivers favor maneuverability and efficiency over brute size, especially in densely packed city environments. To put this into perspective, data underscores how real this divergence has become. Research from Fin indicates that between 2013 and 2023, the average US passenger vehicle grew by approximately 12% in length and 17% in width, nearly 2 feet longer and a foot wider. Meanwhile, a study by Transport and Environment shows that new European cars are widening at a more modest but steady rate, growing about 1 centimeter every 2 years, with the average width reaching 180.3 centimeters in early 2023. These trends reflect a global autobesity problem that carries serious costs in fuel consumption, emissions, and resource use. Larger cars also present safety and equity challenges. They consume more fuel, contribute more to pollution, and even in EV form require bigger batteries, amplifying the demand for raw materials. On crowded urban roads, heavier vehicles can pose greater risks to pedestrians and cyclists, and reduce the quality of public space. Addressing this complex trend requires thoughtful, multi-pronged action, not just blunt regulation, but collaboration across governments, industry, and society. Policymakers can gradually tighten emissions and fuel economy rules in ways that encourage more efficient vehicles. While still allowing automakers to innovate, incremental reform reduces disruption while setting a clear long-term direction. Manufacturers can continue to design vehicles that are both useful and more sustainable. Emphasizing efficient packaging, especially in EVs, means cars can remain functional without becoming oversized. Rather than penalizing choice, governments can offer positive incentives such as tax breaks, rebates, or priority parking for buyers choosing well-designed, efficient vehicles. This shifts the market gently but meaningfully. Cities can promote mobility strategies that reduce dependence on large private vehicles, improving public transit, creating low-emission zones, and designing inclusive streetscapes helps rebalance space and encourages a diversity of transport modes. Through collaboration, these measures can create a future where size is a considered choice, not an inevitable consequence. In short, the tendency toward larger cars in America is not accidental. It emerges from a mix of infrastructure design, fuel economics, regulatory frameworks, and cultural values. In Europe, by contrast, denser urban environments and stricter emissions policies help steer consumers and manufacturers toward smaller, more efficient vehicles. But as cars everywhere continue to grow, we face real challenges for energy, climate, and urban space. If you think this topic deserves more attention, please like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What role should regulation play in shaping the cars of tomorrow, and how much responsibility lies with the consumer? Share in the comments below. See you in the next episodes.